Hello everyone. Today we're gonna talk about the directional light. So let's quickly set up the scene. If you don't understand why I'm setting up the world environment to be fully black with no energy, check my other video about albedo. That should make a lot easier for you to follow along. Now that we have our basic scene set up, let's put some light in. Okay, so let's see what is a directional light now. So here it is, the directional light. So the directional light is just a light that has only one direction and usually comes from a very high source of energy, meaning that all objects will also be affected by the same extent. I'm gonna explain this better in a moment where you will be able to better visualize this. For now, it's only worth to mention that the directional light does not change where you put it in the world. So you can see that I can put it behind the object, but the only thing that really matters here is the rotation of the directional light. So if I rotate it, you can see it changes where it is coming from. Now let's talk a little bit about the spotlight before explaining the differences. So here you can see a spotlight. So the spotlight just means that the source of the energy is starting here and not somewhere else like the directional light. So it does matter where I put it in the world. So you can see here that it changes, and also if I move it away. But in a sense, you can also make it so that the spotlight affects or behaves exactly as the directional light. You can see here, if we mess around with the lighting and energy levels, we can make it so it essentially almost matches the same. You can see here that now we have it very similar. With a few other tweaks, it can exactly match the same. So another way to visualize the directional light is to imagine it as being a spotlight far away from in the horizon, and lighting and the light reaching all objects at the same time. So let me show what I mean. So here we have the spotlight. I'm gonna put it all the way back out of the scene, and then I'm gonna extend the light to reach all objects in the scene at the same time. And then I'm gonna tweak the light a little bit so we can still see as if it was a directional light, see? Let me just tweak the directional light and remove the rotations. Yep. See now? It's better. Okay. So this is just another way to visualize the directional light. So you have a source of energy that is reaching all objects at the same time with the same amount of energy everywhere in the scene. So now let's talk about the rotation. So what does the directional light rotation really means and how we can better visualize it? So when I change here, essentially what I'm doing, I'm changing the way, or let's make it 90. I'm changing where the spotlight, so to speak, is coming from. So essentially, let me set up this scene here in a way that you can better visualize first. Right, so here we have a better scene. So a good way to visualize the directional light rotation is by imagining that someone, that Godot, is doing this for you. So it's moving the spotlight along, oh, It's moving the spotlight along this circle, so it's like it's matching this circle for you, so it makes it a lot easier for you to than you having to do this by yourself. But essentially, if you do manage to do that by yourself, you get the same, you should get the same result here. Let me just see. So here and here, you see? But it's a lot of work just to do that and make it the rotation along this circle. So it's pretty handy just to be able to come here and change the direction. And all of that computation is done for you. So let's see another difference now. So let's duplicate this mesh and let's put it down here and turn off the directional light and turn on the spotlight. You can see here the intensity is also not the same. Here we have way more energy and here we have less. Why is that? Because this one is closer to the spotlight than the other one, which makes sense. So that's another property from the spotlight that the directional light does not have it. So it's more appropriate to think about the energy levels as an ambient light. So in terms of directions, it matches the spotlight, but in terms of energy, it matches the ambient light because it's only adding to the object. So I hope this makes sense for you and you can see the directional light from a different perspective now. Let me know what you think in the comments and leave a like if you want to see more. And see you next time.